Hundreds of young black conservatives gathered in our nation's capital on Friday and over the weekend for a leadership summit hosted by Turning Point USA at, as you can see, the White House.
All right, during the summit, the movement known as Blexit was launched in an effort to help African-American voters exit the Democratic Party.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to the Wright Brothers. We appreciate y'all taking this time once again to come back and join us. First of all, shout out to all of our loyal subscribers in the tribe. We love all of y'all. We could not do this without y'all's wonderful, wonderful support. If this is your first time watching, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Membership in the tribe is completely free. That's all you have to do. And for all of y'all out there, just so you know, stay tuned to the end of this video for an extra special, almost an Easter egg experience. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But without further ado, what we want to talk about today is Blexit, the big names behind it, and some of the controversy that it has become embroiled in since it was announced earlier this week. As you may have heard, some of y'all may have heard that I went to D.C. over the past weekend to participate in the inaugural Young Black Leadership Summit put on by Turning Point USA. It was a great opportunity for me to connect, network, and meet with other like-minded conservatives and feel like I'm not alone out there. We know we're not alone, but sometimes it's easy to lose sight of that. But also what came out of the Young Black Leadership Summit was the announcement that Blexit, which is basically the term about black people leaving the Democratic Party, was announced by Candace Owens. And for more on that, I want to turn the floor over to Eddie now.
Yeah, and first of all, it's great to have you back in the great Lone Star State, Damani. We missed you while you were up there in our nation's capital, but we were glad you were holding it down up there representing the Wright brothers and the tribe. Blexit, as it's being known now, it's actually a play on the earlier hashtag Brexit, which was started by the European, or by the United Kingdom, when they wanted to vote to leave the European Union. The people basically had their own MAGA moment of sorts and decided they wanted to break away from the collectivism that was sweeping the European continent. That's very much still a controversy that they're being embroiled in over there, but the Blexit term is definitely a play on that, and it's basically the same sentiment. It's what we've been saying from day one on this channel. It's fighting against the identity politics that pervades our political discourse, but especially has found a home deep rooted on the left side of the aisle. And Blexit is a call to action for those African-American descent specifically, to not be intimidated into not speaking up for themselves and not being afraid to be bold about their beliefs. We've seen a bit of a phenomenon over the last few years where blacks will tend to vote almost monolithically on the Democratic side of the aisle. And a lot of that is born out of just a simple fear of being excoriated for thinking differently than the majority of your peers. Damani mentioned it was nice to go up to D.C. and feel like he wasn't alone, and that's kind of what this movement is about. There's not a whole lot else to it, but just being bold as far as stepping out and knowing that there are going to be other like-minded individuals who happen to look like you behind, who have your back. And it's not to say it's not reverse identity politics, and we covered a little bit of this before. It's not saying that because you're black you should vote Republican. Honestly, the Blexit thing is not necessarily means that you need to trade a D for an R. It means you need to trade a D for thinking about what your values are as an individual, and then being able to vote according to those, and being able to expound on your ideas in a competent manner. So there's a lot to it. It's a simple sentiment, but a powerful message, and it's been a long time coming, and we on this channel, we're happy to see it come to pass. But of course, like everything in life, it's not always rainbows and butterflies, and controversy tends to rear its ugly head even under the best of circumstances. So Damani, what are maybe some of the controversial things that have come out about Blexit and since you've come back from the Turning Point event?
So it didn't take more than 72 hours for a controversy to rear its ugly head and attach itself to the Blexit movement. So what we recently learned, actually, as of October 30th, was that obviously Kanye West had come out in support of President Trump, and he's been very vociferous in that support. But what came from this was that Kanye West actually broke with Blexit because it was starting to be made clear or be made known, or the inference was starting to be made to imply that he had something directly to do with Blexit. And he claims that he did not, and he actually claims he's going to step back from politics for a bit and just focus on being creative. And you know what? That's okay. The most important thing to take away from this is that we don't want to hitch our wagon to anything preemptively. What we said in our earlier episode, Kanye versus the People, what we said was, Kanye is eccentric. He never claimed to be a conservative. He never claimed to be a Republican. He said he loved Hillary Clinton. That's something a lot of people, on the right side of the aisle are loath to say. But we have to keep that in mind, but also realize that it does us good when we do our due diligence. That's what we always harp on this channel, to figure out what you believe and thoroughly vet someone before you hitch your wagon completely to them, and give yourselves caveats. That's what we did in our last episode, is we said, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but we do know what Kanye West is doing now is being beneficial to open the conversation. We say on this channel all the time is, only way we're going to make free thought great again is by being willing to have the conversation, and he opened that conversation. So we thank him for that. Okay. But with the controversy now, basically what we have to do is we have to remain circumspect and realize that it does us no good if we are going to be duplicitous and now come out and say Kanye West to stick to music. That would completely do us all a disservice. It would do the movement a disservice, and it would do all the positive conversations that he has opened a disservice, because then we are reverting on our previous stance. So we have to be careful what we believe in, what we say we stand for, and then apply that and filter that through the prism of what's going on in the world around us, so that we don't come across as saying we're playing both sides of the aisle or speaking out of both sides of our mouths. That's the last image that we want to give. We always want to make sure that we do our research and then hold true to our convictions, but also give ourselves caveats so that we are not hitched to something preemptively because it's the cool or in thing to do, only to possibly have it come back and reflect negatively on us in the future. So that's the controversy. Who knows where it will end right now? It doesn't affect us either way. It really doesn't, because all he has done is open a conversation. If that's all he will ever do for this movement, then he's done enough, because for the first time, we have people who are willing to challenge status quo, and that's something that cannot be overstated. So without further ado, we want to go ahead and wrap this video up. So we want to thank y'all for... We interrupt this program to bring you a special presentation. So recently, Hillary Clinton thought it was a good idea to make the following comment in public and then laugh afterwards. We're going to play that for you right now.
What do you think of Cory Booker's, and you didn't comment on him and you feel free?
Oh, I adore him.
What do you think about him saying kicked him in the shins, essentially? Start to get to that kind of political...
Well, that was Eric Holder.
Eric Holder, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know they all look alike.
No, they don't. Oh, well done.
So we see what this basically is. Hillary Clinton doesn't care anymore, basically. Like, that's all I can take away from it, is that she does not care. I mean, obviously she says she still wants to be president, whatever that means, because obviously she is still used to taking L's left and right and has not gotten used to the fact that no one wants her to be president. So without further ado, I'm gonna throw it over to you now.
Well, yeah, and the worst part about this is it's actually kind of funny, and that's the thing that we like to do on the show. We like to laugh on the show. It's a funny joke. They all look the same, ha ha ha. But the problem is, if that had been a Republican, if that had been a conservative, the first thing that would have hit the news cycle is conservative person dog whistles to their base. Do they really think all black people are the same? Is this the end of the Republican Party? Stop. So yeah, was it funny? Of course it was funny, but it's also an extreme example, an egregious example of how the double standard of the media plays out. And Hillary, please, just go away. Or keep talking. We don't care. You're doing us so many favors by continuing whatever clown show this is that you have going on. So, I take it back. Keep it up.
And then to make matters worse, somebody else who just won't go away goes by the name of Louis Farrakhan, and he in public as well. So what you see here is they don't care who's around, they don't care who's listening, they don't care if it's recorded. They're going to say what they want to say. And Louis Farrakhan said this.
So when they talk about Farrakhan, call me a hater, you know what they do? Call me an anti-Semite. Stop it. I'm anti-termite.
You know?
Wow.
Sometimes, you know, there's so much that is just so wrong with what you don't even know where to start. But, you know, we know that the Jewish people are not necessarily a race per se, but still, that comment is anti-Semitic. It dehumanizes the Jewish population. And the crazy thing about this is, we think that comment is completely racist, but Twitter actually said that they didn't see anything wrong with it, and they decided to go ahead and let this man get a free pass, get out of jail free. And here on this channel...
Well, if Twitter says it's okay, then it must be all right then.
Thank you, Jack Dorsey. We really do appreciate it. So we've got this going on now. But then we have one other example I want to show you of something that is not racist. Let's play the clip now.
When you look at that caravan and you look of largely very, big percentage of men, young, strong, a lot of bad people in there, people that are in gangs. We don't want them in this country. If they want to come into the country, you have to apply like other people. We have millions of people coming in. They're applying. They're coming in legally. We have a very strong border. I called up the military. This caravan is not, they're wasting their time.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. That is an example of something that is indeed not racist, because we love immigrants in this country. Immigrants are amazing. The only thing that we like to ask for is that you do it legally. Do it legally. And guess what? The people who hate illegal immigration the most, it's not white nationalists. It's not black people. It's legal immigrants. So be kind to a legal immigrant, stand against illegal immigration, and make America great again for everyone. Everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Damani, take us home.
Yep. So we appreciate y'all taking this time for the first mini episode of That's So Racist. And we're going to take it back to the main episode now. Thank y'all for watching, and look for another episode coming up soon. See, we got you. We told you to keep your eyes peeled. We hope that gave you a little bit of levity to an otherwise serious video. We try to have fun here at the Wright Brothers. You know, we talk about serious topics. What's important to realize too is that it's okay to laugh. It's okay to have a good time with this.
We like to smile.
Exactly. And we're not going to be those people who are just deadpanned, constantly, beating a dead horse about a certain topic. We like to laugh. We like to have fun. We want to do something in a way where it's just going to pop up at least expected. So who knows what's going to come when it's going to pop up again, but just know that's going to be an ongoing thing. We think that That's So Racist will be a nice way to introduce some humor to some of our even more serious videos. So we hope you enjoyed that little breakaway. But without further ado, thank y'all for taking this time once again to come back and join us. It really does mean the world to us to have all of y'all's support. Feel free to share this video with a friend. And also don't forget to check out our Facebook page, The Wright Brothers IPID. You can engage with us on an even deeper level, participate in polls. You can hear live videos from us. We're going to actually be more engaged with that in the future, because we want to make sure that we're giving you the news as it happens, because we know these episodes only come out once a week. We want to make sure that we give you a constant, free-flowing stream of information. So we appreciate all of our loyal supporters. Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. And without further ado, thanks and gig 'em.
Thanks and gig 'em.
The first revolution is when you change your mind about how you look at things and see that there might be another way to look at it that you have not been shown. The revolution will not be televised, and be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be live.